Thought I'd seen it all before. A world of trouble knocking at my door. But this ain't like nothing that I recall.
Welcome to In Crisis, Travel Retail Voices. I'm Martin Moody. In our new podcast series, we speak to travel retail executives all around the world to see how they and their businesses are coping with the COVID-19 crisis. For today's episode, we venture off to South America and to Uruguay, where we talk to Jose Luis Donaguerre, Secretary General of South American Duty-Free Association ASUTIL, and the association's General Events Coordinator Ines Sisto Patron. Of course, like everywhere else in the world, Jose Luis, you're being affected by this terrible disease, this outbreak of COVID-19 that's hitting particularly hard in certain countries in South America, and it seems that almost no place is untouched. Tell us what it's like for you, your family, and your countrymen and women, where you are right now, and maybe you can start by telling us where you are right now.
Well, I'm in Uruguay, in Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay. Well, here started the COVID-19 on Friday, 13th of March. And we have at the moment 330 people and only 4 dead people. The government, I think, is doing a great job. This is not the same situation in the rest of Latin America. We had last week a video conference with all the operators of Latin America where we shared all the experience. Well, it's hard, but it's easy. We need all to be safe, keep at home. My son got positive for coronavirus, but we learned that you can have life. We took him in the house almost in prison for 20 days. We knocked the door and leave him the food. So that's but it's possible. I think the duty-free business is absolutely shocked with this that is happening. It affects directly. It's the first time that it's not a crisis in Latin America, it's worldwide. So we are working a lot of things. We had meetings with our operators, with our board. Last week we had a meeting with a lot of suppliers, also with IADFS. We have been working with the Duty Free World Council in a lot of things. We did a letter with ACI Latin America to present to all the governments in all the countries of Latin America that this is a presentation in conjunction between the airport and the duty-free operator asking for some solutions, some policies to avoid paying taxes now, to avoid the minimum guarantee and a lot of things to help us to continue with the company alive and to prepare for the day after, because we also have to work for the day after. There will be a day after. So we are doing a lot of things. Ines is having a tough work, also putting news on the web and doing a lot of things, updating a lot of things. We have also preparing, at the moment, what we can say is preparing the border shop meeting that is expected for the first week of November. Ines has been traveling to some places to see the facilities. So we continue working in all the issues, okay? And I think this industry is a very resilient industry. We need to keep close. We need to keep in contact. And I'm sure, not with any harm, but I'm sure we're going to get out of this very quickly.
All right, thank you, Jose Luis. Just tell us what's your son's name and tell us what that was like. You must have been, of course, like any parent, fearful for the life of your son.
Well, here in Uruguay, it was very curious. The first people that was positive, she had been in a wedding with 500 people. Oh. So suppose that any one of these 500 people were with 10 people afterwards. So it was a disaster. He works in the same office with one that went to this wedding, and he plays football and he had practice on Tuesday. Okay, after this wedding, with 4 or 5 people that went to the wedding, and they shared the water bottle. So he had a little fever of 37.2 Celsius, 33. He was a little bit tired, dizzy, but not that, only 2 days. He was much more worried, not for his health, He was one much more worried for me because, as you know, I had 2 strokes and have 5 stents. So I will be the risk area of COVID-19. So he was worried about what was happened to me, and we did a very, very restricted quarantine with him. He only went out of his room to go to the bathroom. Afterwards, he went to the bathroom. We cleaned all the bathroom, and he remained almost the 24 hours absolutely in his bed. He worked there. He had his television, but he got out, and finally we are all okay. I did my test. I'm negative. My wife also. My daughter that doesn't live in the house but was in the house with his husband are negative. So, well, we are continue fighting with this. Ines also is in quarantine, voluntary quarantine, but because she had a trip by Brazil and Argentina some days before it started. So she's in quarantine also. And
I had to go to Iguazu on the 10th. I went to Iguazu and I returned on the same day that it was confirmed in Uruguay. But actually, in the area that I was in Iguazu, there were no cases, so I was not worried about that. But Argentina was starting to get worried, and I was worried because I couldn't get back to Uruguay maybe, but I did. And the next day, they closed the frontier. And on the same day that I arrived, I started to be in contact and I started reading the WhatsApps and everything that people had sent me and everything. So when my husband picked me up at the airport at 8:30 that Friday, 13th, he said, okay, let's go to have dinner or something. But I was like, no, I don't want to go. I want to go straight home and stay home. And actually, I'm not going to say the name, but what I really thought was I don't want to be that name, that is the person that went to that wedding. I decided myself to stay home. It's easier because it's something that I decided. And actually, I have everything here. I can work from here because my work is always online. So I'm doing fine. And I'm worried about the people that have to work and fight the virus every day. And I'm facing the sick people and everything. So I'm worried about them.
And we shouldn't forget, of course, that some of your members, their employees are in the front line. There are some airports still open, running flights, and there are some commercial facilities still open at some airports, I guess. So they're courageous people, often not recognized.
Yeah. Well, I would say that in Latin America, Argentina and Chile, maybe they are having 2 flights per day that they are bringing back to Argentina. Uruguay at this moment, it's only 1 flight every 2 days, more or less. But yes, there's a lot of people that are in the front line, and also all the people that are really, really suffering and doing a great job is the people at the health area that they are the front liners. You asked for the clap the other day. That's the people that it's incredible.
Yeah, thanks for supporting that the other day. And of course, we were inspired by what we saw in Uruguay. It's lovely to see you doing it, and people in Spain and the Netherlands and lots of other countries. Well, listen, thanks for your time, Jose Luis and Ines. I'm really happy, and so will everybody be, Jose Luis, to hear that your son has battled through. It's a good story to tell the industry because it reminds us all, not only do we have to look after our own health, but we have to be responsible, as Ines just said, for the health of others, and we can be. And if we all show that responsibility, we've got a very good chance of beating this thing.
Look, Martin, just to close, my mother has 86 years. On Friday 13, when was the first case diagnostic, she doesn't receive nobody in her house. We only talk by telephone or by WhatsApp, but we don't visit her. He has 86 years. She's alone with a person that takes care of her. She only receives all the food, but no one visits her, and it's the only way. And same the mother of Ines also, that is alone.
Well, indeed. Well, look, stay well, you two. We
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you face to face sometime in the not too distant future, but your smiling faces online will do just fine for now. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm Martin Moody with In Crisis, Travel Retail Voices.
And I swear one day we're gonna put this out behind us, and come what may, we will survive. I think it's safe to say that better times are gonna find us. Hope it won't be long till this trouble is gone.